Hello, hello besties and explorers. It's your friend and Auntie Heather here, and today's explore takes us to the old building that housed the Department of Child Protection on the top floor and the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service on the bottom floor. The Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service, also known as CAMS, isn't written on the sign because they had moved out long before the Department of Child Protection Services moved out. Behind this building is the Charles Campbell's Primary and Middle School. Now, I suspect that this building was the original building that housed the Charles Campbell Primary School, but as the school grew, it expanded, but as the numbers declined, it was probably decommissioned and repurposed for the Child Protection Services and CAMS. Now, this is an old street map of the area from 1939. As you can see, population wasn't exactly dense at that time. It was still primarily farmland and crown land. But in the 1950s and 60s, as Adelaide population started to grow, the suburbs moved further north, further south and further east, where we are right now. Now, this is the very next map going north, and I used to live in this area. As you can see, there weren't even any streets there in 1939. And this area being developed in the late 60s. Here's a current map of the first map you saw, now in 2024, and you can see how much infrastructure has been built around the area. This building, if it was the original Charles Campbell School, would have had all the admin offices, principal's office, bursar's office in this section of the building. And this part of the building would have had one long corridor with classrooms leading off either side, both downstairs and upstairs. So during the 1960s, all the farms were sold off, the Crown land was sectioned off and sold off, and suburbia moved in. It was actually a mix of private sales and housing trust sales, which is government housing or low-cost housing for people with low incomes to actually purchase a home. The area was probably 99% owner occupied with a mix of middle to low income earners. So with the housing boom, an influx of young families and married couples, along came the children. And of course, children had to be educated. So many a school were built in and around the area. Just north of where we are now, we've got GILLES Plains Primary, Dernancourt Primary a little bit to the east, Holden Hill Primary, Wandana Avenue Primary, Holden Hill North Primary, all within a few kilometres of each other. Then we had GILLES Plains High School and Strathmont Boys School, as well as Strathmont Girls School. I went to Holden Hill Primary School. It started off as a reception to grade 7, and at its peak it had about 800 students. By that time it had divided into a junior primary school and a primary school. By the mid-80s, numbers started to dwindle and the two schools re-amalgamated And by the mid-90s, Holden Hill School had closed down as the numbers had dropped to below 150. It wasn't just my school that closed down, but a number of schools in the area either amalgamated or closed completely. By the 80s, Strathmont had amalgamated to become co-ed. I don't know if that was due to a lack of numbers or the education department finally sort of relinquishing their idea of what an ideal school looked like, which included separating the boys from the girls. Now, I went to GILLES Plains High School, which I believe opened in 1967, potentially 1969, I can't remember. But I was there in the 80s and it peaked at 1,300 students. But by the 90s, both schools had dropped in numbers that Strathmont and GILLES Plains amalgamated to become the Windsor Gardens Secondary School. GILLES Plains had gone through a number of changes over the years till now and is now known as a super school, with many of the other smaller schools now amalgamated or completely closed down. Do you hear that strange noise? Oh, there's a hole there, covered up by a couple of doors. Now, the rooms on this end of the building, directly opposite to the admin section, would have been the activities room, assembly room, music room, drama room, almost any kind of room you could think of. Multi-purpose room, I guess you could call it. It's been demolished. Yeah, we don't have much of an indicator. Oh, I reckon this was the bathroom. Here we go. Men's toilets and women's toilets. Air vent. Oh, what do these doors say? Not much. Room 258. Whatever the hell that means. Now I'm just constantly looking down just to make sure there are no holes in this. I mean, I have to wonder if these bigger areas didn't actually have partitions in them as well, because there's no way you'd need that many doors for such a small space. I reckon each of these were partitioned off into smaller sections and they were all offices. Check out that sun. Fire extinguisher there. More doors. There didn't seem to be any air conditioning. There's an old Telstra box. Telecom. Back in the day. What does this say? Evacuation diagram. In case of an emergency, this is where we are all to go. See, have a look. There's all the little rooms there. That's the main corridor. Stairwell, that's where we are. And so they were actually divided into 4 offices. So that's, yeah, very small offices by the looks of it. Okay, let's go back downstairs. I don't know what that is. Is that a safe? And we'll go across. There's another abandoned built site behind us.
How do you know?
Oh. I'm guessing.
Where is it?
Because I looked out the window and saw it. Oh, no smoking. Ah. Well, there's one air conditioning unit. That would have probably not done the whole building. Oh, there's another one. Oh, hell. It's over here. The problem is I didn't see the fence. If you go upstairs, you can see over the fence and there's another building being demolished. Well, this is it from the back. There we go. There's all your air conditioners. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get through. Video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you stay to the end, thank you very much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And remember, keep smiling. Make the world wonder what you've been up to. Bye for now.
Step into the unknown. Journey to embrace with Heather by your side. There is no time to waste in search of hidden treasures in every